Hey everyone, so we got some thunder going here. It was raining a little bit. So I thought while I'm sitting out here enjoying the breeze that I would do a few, or at least a couple, book tags that I was tagged in. The first one I'm going to do, I apologize for not getting to this sooner, but so much was going on. And I always meant to do it. I was tagged like 6 months ago. So again, sorry, things have just been so hectic. And I haven't had time to really sit down and think about like tag videos, and some of these are still probably going to be random answers. Obviously of books that I read, but it is what it is, I guess. So anyways, to get on with the first tag, this first video, I am doing the Pax Panic booktube tag. I believe that's what it was called. Pax Panic was a YouTuber that had a lot of great content that the community unfortunately lost not too long ago. And I wish I would have been able to do this tag sooner because it's really creative. And I was tagged by Reading with Tatiana, another really good YouTube booktube channel. So I will try to link both of those up because I know Paxton's is still up. And, I'll link both of them so you can see the channels in both videos. So these are book questions based around fears. So the first one is arachnophobia, which is the fear of spiders. And this one is to name a book with a lot of characters. I probably can think of several, actually. But I will say one that I'm currently rereading is the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. All of the Hunger Games, have several characters, but this one might have more. Just because, we are in the capital in this book, and we are reading about Snow and his classmates, and then all the tributes. Like, pretty much, I believe in this book, all the tributes actually have names. Whereas, throughout the trilogy, not everyone had a name, because it was told from Katniss's point of view. And so, some people were just district boy, district girl, whatever. Whereas in this one, I think we got to know all of their names, if I remember correctly. Then there's like some of like the teachers, and then like his grandmother and his cousin and all that stuff. So the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes has a lot. The Lunar Chronicles, as the story goes on, we get more and more characters, so that's another one. I know a lot of people don't really like using it because of everything, and I have not finished the series yet, but Harry Potter has quite a few characters, so there you go. A lot of series has a lot of characters, which is to be expected. Then the next one, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this right, but Callrophobia, I think. Callrophobia? It's the fear of clowns. And this is to name a book with a funny or ridiculous scene. And for that one, I am going to go with Beauty Queens. It's a book by Libba Bray, and it's kind of like, I guess you would say, a satirical novel in a way. It's basically about a plane of beauty queens that crashes on an island, and they, have to survive and all this other stuff. Some are a little smarter than others, but there are some scenes in there and some just pieces of dialogue that are absolutely hilarious. It's one of those books that is both deep and funny. And if you like that kind of balance, I definitely say check it out. Next is Acrophobia, The Fear of Heights, and this is the name of a book that changed your view. And you know what? I don't really know. Because I don't think there's a book that specifically changed like a belief or like a political view or anything. I don't think I've purposely read anything that was the opposite of what I believed or agreed with and then changed my mind about things. I will say that maybe some genres have changed my perception about me liking them, such as I didn't read a whole lot of, historical fiction, but as I read things like Island of the Blue Dolphin and a couple other things, and even things with like more mythology, mixed into it, I'm more interested now in like nonfiction about mythology and cultures and stuff. So, yeah, maybe stuff like Island of the Blue Dolphins, The Idiot's Guide to Wicca, that kind of stuff maybe has gotten me more into like, um, different genres. And I think it, changed my view on wanting to read more than what I was just reading. Then there is trypophobia. Some of these are so hard. Which is the fear of holes. And this one is to name a book with basically a bunch of plot holes. And I guess I've been lucky enough to not really notice some plot holes in books. Although when I get done with this, I'm probably going to go and think about all the books that had plot holes that I gave like 2 or 3 stars to in ratings. You know what, now that I think about it, it's a series that I want to finish because, maybe things will be answered. And I have this plan to finish all the book series that I never finished before. Even ones from years ago, that I started like when I was, in school and stuff, and I just never went back to. The Princess Diaries. So the books are quite different, and I've only read 2 of the books, but the books are quite different in many ways compared to the movie. The movie definitely is very Disney. Her father is not dead in the books like he is at the beginning of the movie. She has met him. She has met her grandmother. And I believe she's actually been to, what's the country's name, Genovia or something like that, before. Or at least they've been to Europe. It's a made-up country, but I believe it's supposed to be European. And I gotta say, as much as I am an advocate for reading the book and everything, and giving respect to the author, and, not changing too many things, in some ways, despite the fact that, Disney has this thing about killing off parents, it makes more sense the way the movie did it. Because I don't know if you consider this a plot hole or just it don't make sense. Or both. In the book, it's the same thing where she ends up finding out she's a princess and everything. But I do not understand how you've been out of the country, you've met your father, your grandmother, who is like a prince and a queen and everything, and you've had no idea. In the movie, her father is estranged, never really met in person kind of thing. Like, I think he sent her letters and stuff like that, but you know, he was a king and he kept that hidden from her. But it made more sense in the movie because, you know, she lived in San Francisco in the United States, and he lived in Europe, and they never actually really saw each other. So I can see how that would have gotten past her because she wasn't there, and she never met her grandmother or anything in that movie, whereas the book is completely opposite. And that part does not make sense. Like, first of all, the royalty, okay? Like, former presidents here have, you know, security and everything else. There's no way your grandma's a queen and you didn't know, you know? There's no way she'd be walking around without bodyguards and everything else. You'd have to know at least something's up. So, plot hole, I'm probably gonna go with the first Princess Diaries book. So the next one is Misophonia, which is fear of germs, and this one is to name a book with the best symptoms infection. And I haven't read a lot of books like that. I've read Zombies vs. Unicorns, which has short stories about zombies. And they're all quite interesting in how they have a twist on the zombies, but those stories are kind of more about how it affects the people versus, you know, how it affects their day-to-day life versus, you know, how the zombie virus came to be exactly. But yeah, I'd still recommend that one. But one that comes close to like symptoms, virus kind of things, that I enjoyed would probably be Bird Box. And that is the story about this virus, this creature kind of thing. You never really know exactly what it is, but it's kind of like this invisible force that, or for most people it's like invisible, but once people actually see it, they lose their minds basically and end up committing suicide. And you know, it's about this woman who was with a group of people, and things happen, they get separated, and she's pregnant, and she ends up with another pregnant lady's child, and she's raising these children basically in a world where they can't open their eyes in the outside world. Like, they gotta go out blindfolded, and she teaches them how to like check things by sound and how to survive other ways. And the movie was slightly different, but I enjoyed that too. It's an interesting story. The next one is Astrophobia, which is the fear of thunder and lightning, but well, maybe thunder. And that is a book that hit you hard. And there's quite a few of these. I love the emotional roller coaster books. Mockingjay hits you hard, especially the things that happen in there, and it's one of those why, what was the point kind of things, but you know, you understand why it was written and the point the author was trying to make. I can't talk about that one too much without spoiling it, because it is the last book in the Hunger Games trilogy, but I will just say that, you know, we lose some people. Another one is The Shape of Thunder. That one is well written and really hard hitting, especially, for a middle grade novel. Not that middle grade novels can't be hard hitting and everything, but it has a lot of heavy subject matter, or a couple heavy things. That one is about two girls who were best friends, and now they are no longer speaking to each other because the one girl's older brother committed a school shooting that killed the other friend's older sister. And it talks a lot about, about fitting in culture and stuff, because the girl of the sister that was killed, they are half, what were they? Oh, I believe they were Libyan, but I'm not totally sure. It's been a couple years now since I read it, and I don't want to say the wrong thing. But part of their family is from the Middle East, and while they're not strictly practicing, they do consider themselves Muslim. Their mother is white, and before all this happened, she actually ran off. The maternal grandmother stayed, and her daughter ran off. So before all that happened, the girl already lost her mother to abandonment, basically, and then she loses her sister to this guy that was basically turning into a misogynistic racist. And the girl of the parents with the brother, I keep saying she lives with parents that basically ignored all of it. Sorry, my mouth's getting kind of dry. So she lives with the fact that her friend does not talk to her anymore because her brother killed her sister, and her parents are just ignoring everything that's happening. Their only solution is to move, and to move her out of the school, instead of acknowledging what their son was becoming and how they ignored it. So yeah, there's a lot of heavy subject matter in there, and it's a middle grade novel. Then finally, Ankylophobia, The Fear of Crowds. Name a book with a group of people you hated. I don't know if I've read a book with a group of people I've hated. There's definitely characters that have annoyed me. And I will say a character, or a couple characters that annoyed me, was in the book, also written by Meg Cabot, that wrote The Princess Diaries, All American Girl. I just felt the main character was whiny. I felt that the back of the book didn't really describe the plot. It was more about the whiny character wanting or having a thing for her sister's boyfriend, rather than the whole saving the president's son kind of thing. And yeah, that's it. So thanks for watching, guys, and see you later. Bye-bye.